pays to be wise.
The news now, latest development, events to look out for, not only in Nigeria, but across the globe.
No provision for fuel subsidy. The fuel subsidy is gone.
Political issues, foreign affairs.
I will protect Social Security and Medicare for our great seniors. They deserve it.
Business reports, sporting events.
Hello for Garnacho! Oh wow! Oh wow! That is one of the great goals!
Entertainment updates and many more. All on Midas Radio 90.5 FM. Unrivaled information. Fresh, factual, accurate, unbiased, concise, balanced on Midas Radio News. It's time to bring you stories that matter.
It's 1 o'clock. Good afternoon. I am Esther Isa with Beyond Nigeria on Midas Radio 90.5 FM, broadcasting live from Ado Ekiti. Here are the top stories. Federal government bans doctor prefix for honorary degree holders. Strike delays release of election results in Central African Republic. North Korea makes changes to constitution. Now the news in details. The federal government has banned recipients of honorary degrees from prefixing doctor to their names in official, academic or professional usage. It declared that the use of the title by such recipients constitutes a misrepresentation of academic credentials, which will henceforth be treated as academic fraud with attendant legal and reputational consequences. Minister of Education Tunji Alausa said the Federal Executive Council approved the policy at the last council meeting. The minister explained that the policy is designed to end decades of indiscriminate conferral of degrees for political patronage and financial gain, and to restore public confidence in the integrity of academic titles. Beyond Nigeria, the publication of election results in the Central African Republic has been suspended following a strike by staff members at the National Election Authority, adding fresh uncertainty to the country's fragile political process. According to several employees, IT specialists at the institution's data processing center are refusing to release the results of the second round of municipal, regional, and the parliamentary elections held on April 26. The results had initially been expected on Monday, but have been delayed over 2 months of unpaid salaries. Nearly 70 constituencies are affected by the delayed results, leaving candidates in limbo. In the meantime, Uganda's parliament has passed a controversial bill which critics had warned that it could be used to silence dissent. The so-called Protection of Sovereignty Bill was approved after a heated debate, with lawmakers backing changes that remove the clause classifying Ugandans abroad as foreigners. The legislation criminalizes actions deemed to promote the interests of a foreigner against those of Uganda and labels individuals or group receiving foreign funding as agents of foreigners. Those convicted under the law could face prison sentences of up to 20 years. The United Arab Emirates has denied allegations by Sudan that an Emirati drone had been used in an attack on Khartoum airport launched from Ethiopia. In an official statement, UAE officials said the fabrications are part of a calculated pattern of deflection and blame game to evade responsibility for actions, as well as intended to prolong the war and obstruct a genuine peace process. Sudan has long accused the UAE of backing the paramilitary rapid support forces, which have been fighting the Sudanese army in a 3-year-old civil war that has devastated the country. The Gulf state, however, denied this, stating that it seeks an end to the conflict. Away from that, Venezuela has rejected its jurisdiction in its century-old dispute with its neighbor, Guyana, centered around a region that is rich in oil. Guyana brought the dispute to the International Court of Justice in 2018, which is the case of a border territory around the Essequibo River and an offshore area where significant discoveries of oil and gas have been made. Guyana wants the court to confirm the border laid down in an 1899 arbitration between Venezuela and the then colony of British Guyana and state that the territory belongs to it. Venezuelan Representative Samuel Moncada, however, dismissed the arbitral award as fraudulent and imposed by colonial forces in an example of gunboat diplomacy. He emphasized that Venezuela's position that the border dispute can only be solved by talks between Venezuela and Guyana. The United States and Iran have said they are reaching agreement on a one-page memorandum to end the war in the Gulf. This is according to a source from mediator Pakistan familiar with the negotiations, following earlier reports that the proposed memorandum was accurate. Last month, Pakistan hosted the war's only peace talks so far, and it has continued in that role of mediator, ferrying proposals between the sides. You are still listening to Beyond Nigeria on Midas Radio 90.5 FM at Do Ekiti.
Remember to protect the land of honor and integrity. Please visit www.midasradio905.fm for more information, and you can follow us across our social media platforms at Midas Radio 905 for regular updates. You can also download our app on Apple or Play Store for convenient access and your listening pleasure. Midas Radio cares about you, and we are committed to bringing you stories that matter.
Thanks for staying with us. Moving on to the rest of the news. Malaysia's anti-graft agency has vowed to recover more high-value artwork linked to the multi-billion-dollar 1MDB scandal after putting 4 recently retrieved works on display at its headquarters. Speaking at a press conference, Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission Chief Azam Baki said the artworks are not merely of commercial value, but also stand as historical symbols of the country's largest corruption scandal. The commission successfully repatriated 4 pieces of artwork last month, including a 1961 Pablo Picasso print, as part of ongoing efforts to recover more than $4.5 billion siphoned from the One Malaysia Development Berhad State Fund between 2009 and 2014 in a complex globe-spanning scheme. U.S. investigators have said the funds allegedly misappropriated by high-level officials and their associates were used to buy everything from luxury hotels to jewelry and artworks. Meanwhile, North Korea has revised its constitution to define its territory as bordering South Korea and remove references to reunification. According to a draft of the text, codifying leader Kim Jong-un pushed to treat the 2 Koreas as separate states. The revision, believed to have been adopted at a March meeting of the Supreme People's Assembly, marks the first time North Korea has added a territorial clause to its constitution. The new Article 2 says North Korea's territory includes land bordering the People's Republic of China and the Russian Federation to the north and the Republic of Korea to the south, as well as territorial waters and airspace based on that land. The clause also says North Korea will never tolerate any infringement of its territory, but did not specify the location of its border with South Korea or explicitly mention disputed maritime boundaries such as the northern limit line in the Yellow Sea. The revised constitution also designates Kim as chairman of the State Affairs Commission as North Korea's head of state, replacing previous language that described the post as the country's supreme leader who presents the state. Senior Chinese officials have taken charge of rescue and relief efforts after a fireworks factory explosion killed 26 and injured 61, flattening buildings and burying people in mounds of debris. This is as they said the state cabinet will set up an investigation team to look into the explosion case. They added that operations at all fireworks plants in the city have been suspended in order to carry out safety inspections. This come after Monday's explosion in the city of Liyuan in the southern province of Hunan, known as China's fireworks capital. Australia has said that 13 members of Australian families in Syria linked to the extremist group Islamic State plan to travel home but will receive no government assistance. Home Affairs Minister Tony Burke said there were very serious limits on what authorities could do to prevent Australian citizens re-entering the country. Burke noted that the government's complete lack of support for the individuals is a direct reflection of the decisions that they made. He added that any returnee suspected of criminal activity would face the full force of the law without exception, though he did not specify potential charges. That's beyond Nigeria this afternoon, but before we go, here is a recap of the major stories. We told you that the federal government has banned recipients of honorary degrees from prefixing doctor to their names in official academic or professional usage, noting that it will be henceforth treated as academic fraud. We informed you that the publication of election results in the Central African Republic has been suspended following a strike by staff members at the National Election Authority. Finally came a report that North Korea has revised its constitution to defend its territory with South Korea, while also treating the two Koreas as separate states. That's beyond Nigeria, as editor